Greetings all the students. Today in this video we'll discuss about economics of class 11th. So before we go further, I would like to summarize its syllabus briefly. Clear? So in economics you have two parts basically. Part A is your stats and part B is your introductory microeconomics. And in 12th you will study about macro part. Clear? So let's begin. So earlier you might have studied economics as a very basic concept, like in class 10th and 9th you have chapters like poverty and Palampur 1. So in 11th class there is one difference, like you have to study the basic concepts. So economics. So if you go further, economics, before understanding the term economics, we have to study that what is an economy. So economy is sum total of all the economic activities. And what are economic activities? Like production, consumption and investment. And investment is also known as capital formation. Okay, let's see its definition. So a system in which people earn their living to satisfy their wants through the activities like production, consumption and investment. Production is when you produce something, when you convert raw material into finished goods. And consumption is when you consume the things, when you purchase the things for your consumption. Next is investment, when you invest in something. Okay, it results in the capital formation. Okay, next is the economics. So economics is basically the study of the problem of choice. Problem of choice means that which type of good you should purchase or which type of good you should produce in an economy. So there is a problem of choice, that to give preference to which type of goods. Okay, which aims at allocation of scarce resources. Scarce resources means very less. Before we begin further, the term here is scarcity. Scarcity is a situation where demand is greater than its supply. Means there is a shortage of the supply of that particular good. So it is a situation where demand for a commodity exceeds its supply. Commodity here is a good only, another word for good. So scarcity is a situation where demand is greater than its supply. Same way, economics is the study of the problem of choice which aims at allocation of scarce resources. Scarce resources means which are very less in number, limited resources, in such a way that a consumer maximizes its satisfaction. So it means it is a study of a problem of choice in which aims at allocation of scarce resources, means limited resources, in such a way that a consumer maximizes its satisfaction level. Okay, means he is getting some level of satisfaction from a production or consumption of a particular commodity. Next is economics. So economics is divided into two parts. First is this micro and second is macro. Micro is related to very small unit or individual unit. Okay, and macro is large or economy as a whole. Micro, this M-I-C-R-O. I stands for individual. So it means it is a study of problem related to the individual units. And second, macro, this A stands for aggregate. Aggregate means sum total of or the economy as a whole. The problems, the study of problems related to the economy as a whole. Clear? So micro is derived from the Greek word micros. This is M-I-C-R-O-S. Micros, which means small or individual unit. And macro is derived from the Greek word macros, which means large units. Clear? Okay. Next we begin further is an economic problem. Now what is an economic problem? As you know that we have very scarce resources, very limited resources, but our wants are unlimited. So then arises a situation called as an economic problem. It is basically related to the problem of choice again. Clear? So scarcity of of resources in relation to its wants creates an economic problems. When you have scarce resources and you have means you have great demands in relation to its supply. Like we have studied here, scarcity means a situation when demand for a commodity exceeds its supply. Means if my community is demanding like for example 10,000 apples, but the economy is not ready to supply me that good. So then comes the word scarcity. Clear? Okay. Now resources. What are resources? Resources, the goods which are used to carry out the production function, production level. So all the raw materials are termed as a resource. Like which are used, they are called as input, which are converted into output through the method of production. Clear? Now we are going to study a very important curve in microeconomics, that is the PPC, which is an important tool to study the economic problem in an economy. Clear? So basically PPC stands for the production possibility curve, and it is also known as the transformation curve and the production possibility frontier. Clear? So in this curve, it is a graphical presentation of various combinations of two goods which can be produced with the given resources and the given technology. Okay, like you have two goods. Okay, we'll discuss it in a schedule afterwards. First of all, for this curve, we have certain assumptions which make this curve sustain. Clear? So basic assumptions are the resources here are fixed. Okay, means they cannot be changed. Next, the technology remains unchanged. The technology is constant. Either we are using a labor intensive. No, technology means technology means we are using which type of technology in the production process. So it remains unchanged. Next, the resources are fully employed. Means there is full employment in an economy. Next is the resources are efficiently employed, means properly employed. Means if we want to increase the production of another good, so we have to reduce the production of the first good. Clear? So this will make that resource to use efficiently. Clear? Now this table shows the various combinations. Okay, it is also known as the production possibility schedule, which shows the various combination through which we draw the diagram or the curve. Clear? So basic this A, B, C, D, E are the various combinations of two goods, okay, which are produced in an economy. Like we have taken an example of wheat. So wheat, for the production of wheat and the production of cloth in units. Clear? So if we are producing a cloth, say rupees 10 units we are producing of cloth, and we want to produce of wheat also, when we want to produce wheat too. So what we will do, we will transform some of the resources from the production of the cloth to the production of the wheat. Clear? So in second combination, A combination, we have seen we have utilized 0 resources in the production of wheat, but if we see the production of cloth, we are using the 10 units in the production. Next, in B combination, we will see that if we want to increase the production of wheat, so we have to reduce the production of cloth. We have to reduce some units of cloth. So we will take out some units from the cloth and we will utilize that unit or resources in the production of the second item, that is the wheat. So here we have sacrificed 1 unit. Like earlier it was 10 units and we have reduced to 9. So it means we have reduced 1 resource, 1 unit. So and we have used that resource in the production of wheat. Clear? So next thing, if we see further, again we'll transform some of the resources Next we have transformed 9 to 7. Like we have some units we have transformed to this production of wheat. Like 2 here. Next we have reduced to 4. Next we have increased here is till 3. Next here is 0 and here we have transformed all the resource, that is the 4. Clear? So next MRT. MRT we have discussed that it is a ratio of change in or decrease in the value of one commodity with the reference to the increase in the value of another commodity. Like we have change in loss upon change in gain. This is the formula of MRT, that is marginal rate of transformation or marginal opportunity cost. Clear? So here we will mark out the MRT. Like we have this wheat and cloth. So losses, how much loss is there? 1 upon, and how much we have gained? We have gained only 1. So it means 1 we cancel the 1. We have 1 unit as MRT and first combination. And in second combination we have 2 units. Now how to came? Like we have 9, 7. How many we have reduced? 2 and 1. So here it is 2. 1 we have increased here 1 unit. Same way it will go on. Okay. So this was your production possibility schedule and how you are going to determine the MRT, which is the change in loss with a reference to the change in gain of another component. Okay. Next is, here we will see the curve, like this is y-axis and this is x-axis. We all know this, and this is the origin point. Okay. If we will see here, the x-axis contains the units of wheat, like this one, and now y-axis we are having the units of cloth. Clear? Wheat is here and cloth is here. So cloth will now mark the points or mark the combination. Like for the production of wheat we have at A we have 0. Production of wheat we have 0. Clear? At 10. At 10. Okay, this is your first combination. Next is we have 1 at 9. So like 1 at 9. Here will be 9 somewhat. Clear? Next is your combination C is 2 and the cloth is 7. Clear? Cloth is 7 here. Somewhat here it will come. Next combination is 3 of wheat. 3 of wheat. This 3 is here. And 4 of cloth. So this here directly. Okay. Understood? Now last combination is 4 and this is and 0. Means you are having 0 production of cloth. Now I will join all that points. If you draw it in this graph paper, you will get the exact same shape. Clear? So you have to draw it in a graph paper. Okay. So this is a concave shape, I guess. Okay. Now the shape of this okay. Now shape of this PPC curve is from downwards, sloping downwards from left to right. Okay. And we have this concave. It is in the shape of concave. Clear? So why it is in the shape of concave and why it is this transferring or from left to right, like this is left and right. This downward sloping, isn't it? So this is because of the increase in this MRT. As you reduce the quantity or the production of one resource, one commodity, so it will increase the MRT slowly or gradually. Clear? Same way here you can see that MRT is increasing. That's why the PVC curve is concave to the origin and is downward sloping from left to the right. Clear? Now next, why it is called as the transformation curve? Because here we are transforming the resources from the production of one good to the production of another good. So that's why it is called as a transformation curve. Okay. So hope you have understood this. So next are the causes of the economic problem. What are the causes behind the economic problem? Economic problem we have studied. So next is, what are its causes? Means like first there are mainly three causes which cause an economic problem in an economy. So first is our unlimited wants. As you people know that our human wants are endless. Means whenever our one want meets, suddenly another demand crops up. Clear? So similarly their human wants are unlimited. Clear? Next is the limited resources. Limited resources means in an economy there are very scarce resources, means very less resources. Clear? So the earth, we have studied this quotation, the earth has everything to fulfill everyone's need but not everyone's greed. The same way here. Clear? So limited resources means very scarce resources. So when there is a choice, like wants are unlimited and the demands are limited, so there arises a economic problem. Clear? Next is the alternative use of resources. Alternative use of resources means a single commodity can have different uses. Like for example, if we take an example of a land, so in that particular land you can either do agriculture or you can build a hospital, a school. Clear? So you have to make a choice between them, that you should utilize that resource in what way. So this creates an economic problem. So these three were the basic causes of economic problem. Next is the central problems of an economy. What are the central problems what an economy faces? Like first is what to produce. What to produce means an economy has to decide that which type of goods it has to produce. Like we have variety of goods, capital goods, consumer goods, intermediate goods and luxury goods. So these type of goods we have to select the type of goods, that of which type good we have to produce in an economy by seeing the people's need, that which good is important that particular time. So what to produce is the selection of good, that which type of good we should produce in an economy. Next is how to produce. Now once you have decided that which type of goods you have to produce, second is how to produce. Now how you are going to produce that particular product, your good. So it deals with the selection of technique, means which type of technique you are using. There are two basically techniques prevailing here. First is the labor intensive technique, second is the capital intensive techniques. The labor intensive techniques are the techniques in which an industry uses more of a labor, like labor intensive, and second is capital intensive. In labor intensive, an economy uses more of labor, like more of human capital. Clear? So when you employ more people, you generally create an employment. Okay? So this labor intensive techniques results in the creation of employment in an economy. Clear? Next is the capital intensive technique. Capital intensive means the more use of technology, machines as comparison to this labors. There is a more usage of the techniques, the machineries in the production process. Clear? So which ultimately deploys your employment level in an economy. Clear? So which intensive technique improves the employment level? That is, the answer will be labor intensive. Clear? Next is for whom to produce. Now you have decided which type of good you should produce. Now technique is also decided that which type of technique you are using for the production of the good you have decided. Next is for whom to produce. For whom you are going to produce that good. Like we have in an economy different sections. Like a person is a labor also, an entrepreneur also, and businessman also. So we have different types of people living in the society. So accordingly, their level of income is different. So we have to keep in mind the distribution of income. Like if a worker is working somewhere, he is getting wage, and if an employee is working under an employer, so he is getting salary. So according to that income, we have to decide that we are producing the goods for whom? Either to the labor class or the middle class or the superior class peoples. Clear? So these three are the basic central problems of an economy. Clear? First is what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. Means what to produce, selection of the goods, which type of goods you have to produce, like capital goods, basic necessities goods, and this your luxury goods. Clear? How to produce, which type of technique you are using, like you are using capital intensive technique or labor intensive technique. Next is for whom to produce, means you will decide according to the distribution level of income in an economy. Okay. Next is the MRT. MRT here is marginal rate of transformation. See, in economy we have studied that the resources are very scarce. There is scarcity of resources, means very limited resources are there. So we have to utilize those resources in such a way that we can fulfill maximum demands. Okay. So marginal rate of transformation, it is transformation rate. Clear? So it is a ratio of goods sacrificed to increase one more unit of another good. Means, for example, if I am having rupees 10 and I am using that all amount in the purchase of a commodity. Clear? In the purchase of a commodity, and I have to purchase B commodity also. So slowly by slowly I will reduce my consumption of a good and I will increase the consumption of B good. So I have to utilize among that particular resources only. So it is a ratio of goods sacrificed to the increase one more unit of other good. Clear? Its formula is MRT equals to change in goods sacrificed upon change in goods produced, or increase in the one more unit of that second product. Clear? Okay.